Alright guys, so here's going to be part 2 of your review. We are doing this in class on Tuesday, but here it is. Okay, so first one here is number 14. It says, what is the slope of any line parallel to the line 5x plus 8y equals 4? So all we're doing is we're just finding the slope, okay? In standard form, the slope formula is going to be the opposite of A over B. Okay, nice and simple. So if I'm looking at this, I have my A value, I have my B value, and I have my C value, okay? So the opposite of A is a positive 5, so the opposite would be negative 5, okay? Over B, my B value is 8. And I'm done with that question, nothing really to do there. Okay, what is the y-intercept of the line determined by the equation 5x plus 4y equals 12? Okay, so I need to know that my y-intercept formula when I'm in standard form, okay, the y-intercept formula is going to be the C value divided by the B value. Okay, so here's my B, here's my C, so this is nice and easy. This is just 12 divided by 4. Okay, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So my answer here, since it's a y-intercept, is 0, 3. All right, not really a lot of work to do on those first two questions. Okay, number 16. It says, write the inequality represented by the graph on the right. Okay, so if I'm looking at that graph on the right, first thing I need to do is I need to figure out what is the slope. Okay, slope is simple, it's just counting. Okay, so I see a nice point here, and I see a nice point right here. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, if I count, I go down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, so down 3 over 1 will tell me my slope is negative 3. I look at the y-intercept, the y-intercept happens actually right there. So that would be at a positive 2. All right, now I got to figure out my symbol that goes in between here. I see dotted line, therefore I know I do not have an or equal to. And then I look, is my shading above or below? So if I pick a spot and I look at where the shading is down from it, so that would be below, which would tell me less than. Okay, number 17. A company rents moving vans for a rental fee of $20 per day with an additional 40 cents per mile. Okay, so this wants us to write an equation that represents the cost in dollars as a function of number of miles driven. So all we gotta do is come up with our equation here. Okay, so I have start of my equation. All right, is equal to. Okay, it costs us $20 a day plus 40 cents per mile driven. Okay, that's all that is. There's no math to do after that. It's literally just set it up. So if you had to, you could figure it out. In this case, you don't have to figure anything out with it. All right, number 18. Write the absolute value graph that has a vertex of 5, comma negative 9. Okay, so our general form is that right there, a times the absolute value of x minus h plus k. Okay, so really quickly, we just know that we've been working with h and k all the time. Okay, h and k is our vertex, and we always, when we think about this, we're always talking hk right there. Okay, so when we plug in, if they don't give you any information about a, we're just going to assume it's 1 for us. So we have y equals the absolute value of x. All right, remember, if I look at h, it should always be the opposite of what's going in there. So I see a positive 5 up there, better be a negative 5 in here. Okay, and then finally k is negative 9. There we go, done. Okay, nothing else to do with that. All right, number 19, we get to graph, our favorite thing. Okay, if I'm looking at this, all right, first thing I should do is find my vertex. So remember for us that we're looking at the opposite of h and then k. Okay, so here's my h, here's my k. I see a negative 3, so what I'm doing is my vertex better be positive 3. Okay, and then I see negative 4, so there we go. All right, so there's my first point. Negative 3, I'm sorry, 3, negative 4, so that's over 3 down 4, so right there. Okay, then what I need to do is I need to go ahead and make my little t-chart here to figure out my other points. Okay, so I have x, I have y. I know that when I plug in 3, I got negative 4. So I'm going to pick one above, one below. Okay, so really quickly, just go ahead and plug in either one of them. So if I plug in 2, for example, I would have the absolute value of 2 minus 3. minus 4 here. Okay, so so I am left with y is equal to the absolute value of 2 minus 3 is negative 1 minus 4. Okay, absolute value of negative 1 is positive 1, so 1 minus 4, which gives me negative 3. Okay, so that means when I plug in 2, I got negative 3, and remember, as long as you pick the same distance, they should be the exact same point there. So 2, negative 3, 4, negative 3, and I go ahead and I draw my arrows coming out of it, okay? Nice and easy. Alrighty, next page here, number 20, kind of flying through this. Alright, number 20. Given the system, what is the value of y? Okay, so this is where you can solve via elimination or substitution. Alright, so in this case it's set up for substitution, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, I see a y equals statement, so I'm going to substitute that value in for y. So I have 3x minus, now instead of y, I'm going to substitute my 2x minus 1 in for y. Okay? So as I do this, now I have to distribute that negative sign. I have 3x minus 2x minus 1, plus 1, okay, is equal to negative 1 here. Okay, combine your like terms, 3x minus 2x is 1x. I have 1x plus 1 is equal to negative 1. Subtract your 1 over, so I have 1x is equal to negative 2. I don't need to divide by 1, I know that's my answer for x. However, it's not asking for x, it's asking for y, so I do have to plug that negative 2 back in. I'm going to plug it back into that top equation there. So 2 times negative 2 minus 1 here. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Minus 1 is negative 5. So that's what my y is equal to. That is my answer. Okay? Next one was the solution to the following system of equations. So once again, I need both x and y here. Okay, you have choices. You can set up stuff. However, I believe this is better for elimination, but it is up to you. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to start by multiplying either my top or my bottom line to get an elimination statement here. Personally, I'm going to try to eliminate from my top line. I'm going to multiply that entire line by 2. So my new line is going to look like this. 8x plus 6y is equal to negative 12. All right, when I get this, now what I'm doing is I am adding these two lines together. Okay, so straight down, 5x and 8x is 13x. Okay, negative 6y and positive 6y cancel each other out. That is your elimination. Okay, and finally, negative 27 and negative 12 gives me negative 39. If I divide by 13, x is equal to negative 3. Okay, so there's my first part of my answer. The second piece is I'm going to have to go in and plug that negative 3 in to any one of the lines. I can plug it into the original top line, the middle line, or I can plug it into the made-up line. I'm going to plug it into my top line because I feel like that's the smallest numbers I can get. So if I do that, I have 4 times negative 3 plus 3y equals negative 6. Okay, so I go ahead and do my multiplication here. All right. You want to get rid of a negative 12, you got to add it over. So I have 3y equals 6. Finally, y is equal to 2. So therefore, my answer was always going to be an x comma y situation. So negative 3 comma 2. All right, so there we go. All right, number 22. Again, no work. Just make sure you pay attention to which one it's asking you for. It's not going to ask you for all 3. It'll ask you for one of the 3. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, I have an independent system. What kind of lines do I have when I have an independent system? Okay, these happen when the lines intersect with each other. Okay, that's when you get an independent system. If you have an inconsistent system, okay, inconsistent, the lines will be parallel. They never touch each other. Okay, in a dependent system, the lines, there's only going to be one. You're going to see the same line on there. Okay, it's the same line overlapping. All right, so that actually goes with number 23. Number 23 says, which of the following graphs represents an inconsistent system? Okay, so inconsistent, if we look at the last problem, says, hey, those should be parallel lines. In this case, I have 2 of them. I've got A is parallel, they don't touch each other, and same thing with D. Doesn't touch each other, therefore it is parallel. All right, so those are my 2 parallel lines. All right, number 24. Okay, number 24. You were selling yogurt at a fair, you made $590 and used a total of 225 cones. A single scoop costs $2.5 and a double scoop costs $3. Write a system of equations to represent the situation. Okay? You don't have to solve anything here, you just have to write the equations. So we have two problems here. Alright? I've got a problem about cones and I've got a problem about money. Okay, so if I do the cones first, if I say my small cones plus my large cones is going to be equal, my single scoop cones plus my double scoop cones is going to be my total number of cones that are used. So I'm going to use 225 of them. All right, finally, I have my money problem. So each single scoop cone costs $2.50. Each double scoop cone costs $3. And finally, I made $590 off of it. Okay, so that is what day 2 looks like. All right, there's not too much going on in the middle of this packet. All right, not a lot of math. It's just your definitions. If you know your definitions, you'll actually be all right coming through this. Okay, so there's part 2.